Hi.
Hi.
Hi. So, what's the most awkward thing to happen at your booth besides some jerk spilling all of your merch?
Is that you?
That's me.
Where's your wife at?
Yeah.
Yeah, she was more embarrassed than you were.
That's true. I kind of meant it.
Yeah. No,
An
this guy
entire-
spilled his Red Bull all over our posters. Yeah, I know.
It's right. They brought us some Subway sandwiches. It was fine.
Yeah, nothing worse has ever happened to us. So.
It really was a nightmare.
I don't just mean at this show. I mean in the 14 years we've been doing Penny Arcade.
Hey guys, I was just wondering, have you guys thought of doing Automata as a fully fledged graphic novel, just as a self-contained story? Because I love getting in Roll Burst, but I'd like to read something a bit longer.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you know how, like in Iron Chef, like there'll be a secret ingredient, and then they'll make like 5 courses, and they all incorporate that ingredient in some way. I sort of think of Automata that way. I feel like it's a delicious taste, and it improves anything it comes in contact with, more or less. So, I mean, I think a graphic novel is the most basic expression of that. I mean, I want animated series. I want, Brad Pitt in the live action as the robot, though.
Awesome.
You know what I mean? Like, I mean, there is literally nothing. I want to eat Automata. I want to have Automata chicken snacks.
We think about it a lot.
Okay.
Yeah. And actually we have some ideas in the pipe.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you guys.
That's what.
Hi guys, thanks for all the work with Penny Arcade.
Thank you.
I know I love listening to or that one time viewing the adventures of Acquisitions Incorporated.
Yeah.
And I was wondering if there's any hope of seeing the further adventures of Jim Dark Magic or Benwin Bronzebottom or AOFL, or I can't remember Jerry's character.
Don't worry about it. Yeah.
I'm sorry.
In fact, we're doing another game at PAX Prime this year.
Fantastic. Is it going to be visual like last time?
Yeah, we're getting the whole band back together.
Excellent.
And in fact, I think, is Chris here, our DM? No, he's not. He came by the booth and said that he's thinking about a Jim Dark Magic themed game this time.
Ooh.
So, whereas last time he focused on Binwin, I think Jim might get the spotlight this
Well,
year.
he suggested that we might return to New Hampshire.
Yeah. Meet the other Dark Magics.
All right, thank you very much.
Yeah.
I just want to preface my question with, I'm sure if you haven't heard this already, you're going to hear it a lot tomorrow. But come tomorrow, how much will you pay us to haul your dreams away?
Listen, that was about the other booths. You're free to come and shop with us as soon as you like.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Incredible values. Indeed, identical to the ones we've had previously.
Has the diddlator been brought up here, or is it still down below?
The diddlator?
The diddlator.
The diddlator tends to travel with me.
Oh.
I think the less we say about the diddlator, maybe the better.
We're trying to build a brand here, though.
I understand that there's actually people filming us, and I think that we would have to leave the state, or we'd go
Come
to
by the
jail.
booth tomorrow if you want to experience the diddlator.
And just give
Bring
us
$5.
give us an expression of sensuality, unbridled, that involves the eyebrows, and we'll know what you came for.
Hi, I'm a writer for my own webcomic, and I don't really do any long form stuff like you do, lookouts and such. I was
Every now and
wondering,
then, yeah.
When you do that, do you have to go muscle straight through it and do the whole thing, or can you switch back and forth between your kind of Monday, Wednesday, Friday, each one has its own, no continuity at all?
Well, whenever we do something long form, the working process is completely different.
It's not like what you see on the fourth panel episodes where it's he and I kicking ideas around. The long form stuff is almost all Jerry.
Yeah, so that has a much more traditional sort of comic work relationship, where I'm writing dialogue, and occasionally I'll describe individual things, but I don't think it's my job to tell him what to do exactly.
It's not.
Yeah. I essentially write a script for my actors, and that's what I pass along to him. But as far as the stuff that's relatively self-contained, That's something we collaborate on. But as soon as it gets to a full page or longer, typically the relationship completely changes. And
I have almost no attention span. So anything over 3 panels, I'm not interested in.
or can't conceive.
Yeah, I can't focus on that.
Thank you.
That's bad.
Hey.
Hello, Brian. Kurtz.
Hey, I have a question for Mike. I was wondering why your hands look like bananas, where you draw them looking like bananas, and
Funny guy.
why maybe you don't use hand mannequins that someone might
Yeah.
have given you.
It's a long question.
Just real quick question. Just
Is
wondering.
that the end of it? Is that all? Okay, well, first of all, lately, my hands have been looking pretty awesome. And yeah, it's okay to clap for that. And second of all, not cool.
Hi. I was just, I understand that this might not be something you guys can really talk about, but I was just wondering about because the new kid got optioned for the
Oh, sure.
movie.
Yeah.
And I was just wondering, if there's any more you can tell us about, how that came about, or, what
No,
was
you have to
the...
understand that we were as surprised as you were to see that announced.
Yeah, because it was it just came
Sometimes
out of
Robert
nowhere,
does things
it
and we
was-
don't know about them.
No, I mean, whenever we create those sort of side projects like Automata or the Lookouts and New Kid, we don't want to give up Penny Arcade to that sort of, to those people.
Yeah.
And but these other side projects, we're more than happy to. And so when there was sort of interest in the Lookout or in the New Kid, we told Robert to do whatever. I mean, to take it and run with it. And we sat down with Gary Whitta and we wrote up a synopsis for the whole movie, and they liked it. I mean, it's still a really long way from actually being a movie, but it's taking that first of 1,000 steps.
Well, it's been a tremendous education because we did not know previously that there is such a thing as we thought if a movie was optioned, it's like, all right.
Movie time.
Yeah, movie time.
I'm
Let's
buying
go.
my tickets on Fandango right now.
Yeah, and it's actually not that. The first option is like, hey, you're kind of cool. And then there's also a second and third options, which are all distinct, and it's like fan language in Victorian era or something. It's
It's like an
completely
elaborate
bizarre.
dating process.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah, there's definitely a romance element.
Yeah.
But you both speak different language and have entirely different bodies, so you're completely incompatible.
Well, thank you very much.
Yeah.
All right, so I know you guys play a lot of League of Legends.
It's
and
true.
So
We do.
I'm wondering, what are your guys' favorite heroes or roles to play?
Well, they're called champions.
Champions. What are your favorite champions and roles to play? Is support, tank, carry?
Yeah, I play Nocturne. I guess my role would be Murderer. I think.
Nightmare Murderer, I think,
Yeah.
is the entire appellation. I mean, for a long time, I was just trying to figure out, when I play games with my friends, my role is just to sort of help other people win. That's the best I can aspire to,
So Sona?
is not to die constantly.
So Sona.
So I've been doing Leona, who is like a sun priestess paladin lady, and she's rad, because you can't kill her, really. You can kill her, but it takes all 5 of your guys, and that's nice. They have to really dogpile on there, and it just doesn't work. So when I'm with somebody else, I'm very effective, and then when I'm alone, I die in the woods. So,
Thank you.
sure.
You guys have got your hands in so many different things. I was wondering what your basic business philosophy was that has allowed you to expand outwards so much.
Yeah, it's so robust.
Well, that's a long panel. I mean, because we have so much business philosophies. Really, I mean,
We
a
have
lot of it-
philosophies about the philosophy.
Yeah.
So
The big thing is, look at your numbers for your quarterly numbers.
Number 1, look at numbers. Number
Yeah.
2, web.
Right.
Web.
And then look at the charts. So
Well, I'm not so much like actual business, but I mean, you just.
Did you not hear the 3 steps?
I absolutely got them. But I mean, is there something that drives you to do so many different things?
Robert,
Insanity.
he beats us.
All right, thanks, guys.
Hi, have you guys ever thought about doing a weird meta crossover, like the adventures of Twips and Caspy and Divix, or Cardboard Tube Samurai meets
goes into automata or anything like weird like that?
No. Nice question.
The guys that I work with at...
Hold on 1 second. Is there a curtain in front here?
Yes.
Okay. I wanted to cross my legs like a lady, and but I also I didn't want the shame that comes along with that.
So everybody I work with, we all read your comics. We wait feverishly for them to come out, and we were talking not too long ago about how your families have played more into the strip than they have in the past.
Yes, we have them now.
Well, what I was going to ask was, as they get older, how do you think they'll affect how you write and how you illustrate for the comic?
Boy, I don't know. I mean, they're still at the point now where they're so young that, I mean, he knows that Daddy draws cartoons and plays video games, but he doesn't, he didn't read the strip this morning or anything.
Thank God.
Eventually, someday, that's going to be a reality. That's terrifying.
Yeah, I mean, right now it's like having some extra characters we don't have to license from anyone.
Yeah.
Eventually they'll be chasing us down for points, and it'll be a huge pain in the ass.
Cool, thank you.
So my DM has a huge burning, seething hatred for 4th edition. So could you guys rewrite the Witchelog class for 3.5, please?
The Witchelog is not a real class. If you're playing that...
I will roll it. If you write it, I will roll it, and I will convince my DM to accept it. And I will convince everybody else in my party to roll one as well, and it will be glorious.
But listen, it's not going to work, because first of all, a Witchelog is a class and a race. Second of all, there's only one set of Witchelog blades.
I'll make it work.
So
we'll
if
share them.
You all
It's
have to
fine.
share the same Witchelog blades.
We're really good friends. It's okay.
Also, I'm not sure that the power dramatic clapping does any damage. I don't know.
It doesn't. Big Skull does. Big Skull does a lot of damage.
Yeah.
I mean, we'll figure it out. The important thing is if you guys can write it, we'll make it work.
Okay.
All right. We'll see what we can do.
Sweet. Thank you.
All right.
So I'm sure most people here remembered the story past when you guys were just but shadowy figures in the background who 3 times a week shat out a comic strip. And
Did you say we shat out a comic strip?
yeah, I did. But
Well, I'm
so-
not saying that's not entirely true. I just wanted to make sure that I heard you.
So I was wondering how much the combination of growing popularity of the strip, you guys going on to your anti-anxiety medication, and Robert beating you sort of contributed to all of the different endeavors you've added to your repertoire over the years.
Well, I would say that Robert, I mean, is definitely a big part of it. I mean, when someone else is worrying about all the math, how to make it all work, it just gives us more time to be creative. And Lexapro does not hurt.
I forget the question. What was the question?
She wanted to know if, I don't remember either. I think I answered it though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes I just drift away.
If it's what combination of popularity plus drugs?
Oh,
plus
yeah. But I was going to say specifically about the popularity. Like most of the time, we're not popular.
This is not our normal life.
Most of the time, Brenna does not give a shit that that my address is tycho@pennyarcade.com. You know what I mean? Like most of the people that I spend most of my day with, they don't, have
Especially
any,
like him.
They don't have any special opinion about us in that context. And the popularity actually, I mean, for the most part, that led to a lot of stress, and it's certainly in the pre-Lexapro days, because you really don't want to disappoint people, and you can invest a lot of yourself in trying to maintain that, that part of yourself that is always ready to be friendly, and to be the person that you think they expect you to be. It's like playing rock paper scissors all the time in psychic combat with a stranger. And it's it's a very weird job. And I would say that the main thing that the Lexapro has done is that I don't have to play that. I can actually just talk to a person, which is a vast improvement.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Just a quick question. It seems like Gabe and Tycho are some of the more iconic characters available in webcomics. So pretty much it seems like anytime some other webcomic artist wants to make a nod to the webcomic community, they feature your characters. And I'm just wondering how you guys generally react to that. Because I remember the movie comic situation years ago, there was some concern over that. So.
It doesn't bother us. I mean, starting out, when we started Penny Arcade, I mean, we were using characters from User Friendly. We shit all over them. And I think it's just sort of, you know, as a young man, you have to make your mark, right? You have to piss on your territory.
Specifically on other men.
Yeah. Yeah, I totally understand it.
Right on.
Yeah.
Thanks.
This is for Mike. I was just wondering how your Windows phone has been faring for the weekend, and if anybody's been giving you any flack for not switching to like Android or Migo or something.
You know, I think I'm definitely after this weekend a 100% convert. Like the phone has been fantastic. Yeah. Thanks, two people. But it's not the most popular. I don't understand.
It's like, what do you do after everyone else is sold out?
Yeah. No, I like it a lot. I've taken a little bit of flack from people. Well, not flack, but people just have come up to me and say, oh, you got to try Android. You got to try Android. And I was able to put Android on my Nook Color. And
via hacks?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm to Haxor. No, Android just seems like a real mess right now. Like they don't seem to have a cohesive user experience.
I think that for like an artist or a designer, there's concerns that they have with that. And it depends on how they approach it. Like Erica had an Android phone for a while, and the way that she customized it with a bunch of her own icons, I think made it feel more like home. Is that more or less correct? Yeah. And then she got an iPhone, so I don't know.
Yeah.
Thanks. So you often get a lot of questions about the business side of things that you have to then refer, hey, go ask Robert Koo. Can we finally expect a Q&A at PAX Prime?
There's no way Robert would ever have time to do a Q&A at PAX, right? No. Yeah, I mean, he's running around like a crazy person, putting out fires, and sometimes literal fires. Yeah, I don't see that happening.
Thank you.
But are you doing that thing with Scott that you do sometimes?
Yeah, he's doing a thing tonight, right, at the Marriott? 10 p.m.
Yeah, at the Marriott at 10 p.m. He is having the panel that you want to have at PAX.
Yeah.
Hey guys, so I came here last year shortly after you had aired the first employee application process on your documentary. And so I decided to ask Robert what the joke was that the young lady that had gotten the position told you. And I guess I think it's a black joke. So I've come here to shame it out of you because it doesn't look like it. I love black jokes. I get them all the time.
You get them all the time? Is that what you said?
I get them all the time.
What do people test?
I know it's unbelievable. I mean, why would people tell
Do they
me?
test? They test them out? Listen to this one. Is this one offensive enough?
It's exactly. It's like I have to correct them sometimes. You're telling it wrong. It's up against the wall, not the ceiling.
I assume he didn't tell you the joke, right?
No.
No, the joke can never be told.
Oh.
It will lose its
No,
cachet.
because now there's no way it could be as funny as
I've
people
waited
think it is.
365 days. You can't hold this from me.
I can't.
And I will.
What's up, fellas?
Yeah.
One of my favorite characters is Fruit Fucker.
Mhm.
How did you guys come up with the idea, and when will we see Fruit Fucker again?
The idea for Fruit Fucker is actually a long time ago.
Yeah, 2000?
Yeah, around 2000. I was living in an apartment still in Spokane, and they were doing construction on my street, tearing it up, putting down a new one, and they had all these ridiculous, construction vehicles.
Yeah,
all
they
around.
had machines that you couldn't make sense of. Like
You
you would
don't know
look at
what
it
it
and try to
does.
figure out what it could possibly do.
And along with that, they had all these signs that said, don't park in the street because your car is going to get beat to shit by all these trucks and machines.
All caps.
And we just imagined that one of these vehicles had some kind of ramrod like piston device that would just sort of crawl up on top of your vehicle and just fuck the shit out of the trunk.
Well, no, until the trunk just popped open.
Yeah. And then we thought, well, I wonder if that company makes other fucking products. And so then we sort of invented Fucker Co. And the Fruit Fucker just happens to be one of a line of products.
For the home.
Yeah.
So this is a bad version of Transformers, okay.
Yeah.
All right, thanks,
No,
guys.
it's completely bizarre.
And when can we see another?
We don't plan ahead at all.
Yeah,
I don't know what's going to come up on Wednesday, so.
Cool.
Oh, yeah, business guy. This is a great opportunity to talk about new merchandise. Our next figurine is actually going to be the Fruit Fucker. It's an orange with the Fruit Fucker doing his sort of leaping pose onto it, and it's great because the base is actually the juice pooling out of it. It's pretty disgusting.
That's the reaction we were looking for.
Hi, I have a question primarily for Jerry. There was a posting a long time ago. I took your recommendation on the board games Pandemic and Arkham Horror.
Yeah.
Very good. And since then, I've fallen about $600 down that hill.
Yeah, especially at this show. It can get dangerous quick.
So I was wondering if you had any other outstanding recommendations or what the new hotness is for
Oh,
board
man.
games for either of you.
The new hotness in games, in games for the table.
Yes.
Dixit is pretty amazing.
Dixit is pretty weird, right?
Yeah, Dixit is sort of like Balderdash.
Yeah.
But instead of creating definitions for words, you create stories based on pictures.
It's insane.
And then there's another great one. God, what is it? It's a zombie game where you play characters in a zombie movie. Can someone help me out with the name?
Last Night on Earth?
Yes, Last Night on Earth. Also incredible.
Yeah. Okay, so my favorites. There's a game called Push Fight. Does everybody know that in the game? Okay, good. Because I'm about to educate y'all. All right, so Push Fight, look it up. It is the best. It has a board that is unlike any board you've ever seen. And it has a bunch of pieces that don't look like any pieces you've ever seen. And there is no way to describe this game in terms of other games. I can't do it. The way that it works is unlike any other game. And you can go online and find tutorial videos that look like they were filmed with an old VHS camera and then uploaded to YouTube. I mean, it's so earnest. Like, it is the real deal, folks. This guy makes judo training dummies and Push Fight, like in his garage. It is awesome. Push Fight. And the other one, there's a bunch from Serlin games that I've been playing. There's a deck game called Yomi.
Yomi and
Okay, so you know about it?
Yeah.
Yeah, Yomi is amazing. It's basically like a version of poker. Imagine that all the characters in Street Fighter represent different customized poker decks, and they're all completely different from one another. And so you can play any two of these decks together. So just like when you choose two fighters in a fighting game, you can play this balanced card game against each other, and it's one of the smartest games I've ever played.
Awesome. More money sinks. Thank you.
Yeah.
Hi, first of all, I just wanted
Bye,
to...
Scott. Sorry, were we boring you? Okay, bye.
Actually, let me get to my question real quick while Scott is gone. I wanted you to have a chance to actually rebut. Do you have anything to do with the trenches, or was he kind of telling? I mean, because I wanted to get both sides of the story.
Well, the three of us write it together, so I'm involved in that part. And then I did help.
Hello, Mr. Kurtz.
I also did design all the characters, so. Mr. Toots, the very real rabbit? No, I designed a lot of the characters, the good ones. Oh, what? I did. I designed Isaac. I guess I just designed Isaac. Yeah, I did Q. Oh, interesting. List is getting longer. You designed the rabbit. You designed the secretary. So, no, I've been helping. I help him with his backgrounds too, because he's not very good at that.
All right. Thank you very much, and I hope you don't mind that I do come by your booth literally every day.
No, we are here to speak to people.
Okay, and you don't mind that I hang
No.
out creepily 20
It is
minutes every
okay.
day.
We like you. It's fine.
All right, are we done early? Is that time is out? Let me look at my Windows phone. I just have to sit next to him all day. It's only 6:12. Oh,
I guess this is more of a request than a question, but could we get more Div? Because he's been gone for forever.
yeah, we can do more div. Jerry does not like div.
He has tried to put Div in, I think, 30 cartoons.
And he always shuts me down. He thinks
Okay.
that div is a one-trick pony. He's like, well, all he does is get drunk. And it's like, yeah, that's why it's funny. It's called a running gag.
Look it up.
What? Oh, all right, yeah.
Just
Maybe you
start
could write it.
raging. Okay.
Guys, I was wondering if you could share some of the details in the emails that followed in the backlash of the Dick Wolves comic.
Oh. I'm not actually supposed to talk about it because I want to so bad. And Robert doesn't think it's good for the brand. No, I mean, there are some people who I will describe as the chronically offended, who are, I think, anxious to get mad about things on the internet. And this comic found its way into their circle, and they just pounced on it, you know? I mean, I don't know what to tell you. Like, they were super upset, and that's fine, but pissing people off is kind of what we do. I can't help them, you know?
For the record, I thought it was pretty awesome.
Well, you know, that's fine. I appreciate it.
It was a profound education.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
What's up? So I had a question if you guys have book recommendations, because I guess about a year ago, God, my friend's sending you pictures. About a year ago, I picked up Patrick Rothfuss's books.
Oh, sure, yeah, he's awesome.
Or his first book, because the second one wasn't out yet. Because I Googled Penny Arcade and I needed something to read while I flew.
Yeah, yeah.
Do you guys have other awesome books that maybe
Absolutely.
you're hiding?
If you like sci-fi, a book called Pandora's Star is fantastic, and that'll actually put you into a series of books by that author, which are pretty good.
I mean, how weird do you want?
Oh, and also,
what does that mean?
Two more real quick.
Yeah,
Bone Shaker and Dreadnought are both from the same author, and they're also...
Shree Priest?
Yeah, fantastic.
What was the last one?
No, Shree Priest. That's the author. I would look up Stephen Brust right away. Are you okay with fantasy?
Yeah.
Are you okay?
definitely.
Are you okay with
100%.
fantasy stories that have modern diction and don't try to sound highfalutin?
Yeah, that's great.
Okay, because it's definitely jarring sometimes. Definitely look up his.
They use like modern words, like I don't know, Dick Wolves or something.
No. No, it isn't like that. It isn't that modern.
Jerry is ashamed of the Dick Wolves now. He's been beaten down. So whenever you say Dick Wolves, he goes, I'm so proud of it. I've got love for the Dick Wolves.
Anyway, definitely look up Stephen Brest. In fact, you might be able to find some of his stuff here. It's basically like they're like fantasy mysteries almost. They're just badass. I love them.
Dude, awesome. Thanks.
Yeah.
Hello. You two have been working together for a very long time.
It's true.
How
Maybe too long.
Actually, that's kind of the question. How often do you think about writing for another artist? And how often do you think about drawing for another writer? And, well, Scott Kurtz kind of inspired the question also. Who would you want to write and or draw for?
Wow. All right, I'll go first.
Okay. Villain. Betrayer.
Let's see. If I were gonna do something for another writer,
Like a hand job.
no, you know what? It's funny because probably before last night, I would have said that I would have loved to have done something for Karen Travis. Because I assume it's like this, I guess, in relationships, right? Where you're like, oh man, I got to get with some other lady, and then you actually do it, and it's like, wow, that's not as great as I thought it was. That's really weird. Because I thought in my head, like, Karen Travis, oh man, that's going to be amazing. Like, she's such an incredible author. And then she was telling us last night over dinner how she writes comics, and she said that she delivers complete descriptions of how many panels should be on each page, and what should be in each panel, and how to draw it. And I was like, oh my God, all of a sudden it's looking pretty good over here, like, because he just writes dialogue and then gives it to me to do whatever I want. Like, honestly, I don't think I could be happy with another writer. No, I don't mean that. God damn it. It's taken me a long time to train this one, to beat him down until he feels like his contribution is not as important.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, we're sort of like two trees that have grown together. But I'm mad about it. I just my process is just the reverse of his process. Artistically, it's not. There isn't anything else. It's just this is what I can do is make him succeed. That's who I am now.
It's been great.
Hi guys, how's it going? I just want to say, I mean, I love the comic. You guys are incredible.
Oh, okay.
And somebody else mentioned this earlier about the D&D campaigns you guys have done. I absolutely love whenever you guys do campaigns, and I was wondering, I know that you both DM now, if you could talk about maybe a favorite campaign that you've run or something really cool that you did. I know, Mike, you've posted a lot about some of the interesting things you've done, and that stuff is really cool, so.
Yeah, I mean, if it's cool, I post it. You've seen all of my best ideas, the laser maze with the mirrors and the floating 3D planets. I post all that stuff.
Yeah. Awesome, thank you guys.
I'm cool too. I don't.
So I'm way.
No, you can tilt it down. It's all right. It won't break.
Okay.
Oh, Jesus, it broke.
She's
There, okay.
she's about to spit a flow.
It's my fault. I'm sorry. Okay. So I've been a fan for a long time, and today is actually the first time I've heard about the Dick Wolves thing.
Oh.
And I was confused
Awesome.
because... No, I thought that you guys were just generally offensive, and that's the point.
Thank you.
And wouldn't you all agree that rape is a bad thing? And
Oh, yes.
Okay.
I think that it is terrible.
Because I heard from fans who are no longer fans because of that fiasco, and
I see.
I was so confused because I love you guys, and I assume that you don't mean to insult people on purpose. Besides the fact that you do.
No, I mean, if you look at the first okay, we're going to have this conversation. If you look at the first comic, it's not a rape joke. You know, I mean, the joke is about how immoral these games force you to be, right? I mean, you only need to save 5 slaves. The place is full of fucking slaves.
It's wall-to-wall slaves.
Spend another 10 minutes in there.
This is a real
Save
quest.
everybody. Yeah, I mean, that's the joke.
Is that the heroism that they have you doing is completely empty. It's in fact amoral, and you are just a selfish asshole harvesting experience points off the back of people suffering. That's it.
And then my problem, and I'll admit to this, is that when people are offended, my initial reaction is to keep poking. I'm sorry. And so that's why we did the second strip, because the implication that we are somehow pro-rape is so ridiculous. No one is pro-rape. Except rapists. Like...
And fuck them.
Yeah. I mean...
I don't care if rapists don't like my comic. It's just.
Yeah, it's some things are so ridiculous that we have to make fun of them.
Thank you guys, and I'm sorry, Robert.
The brand is just.
Hey guys, love the comic. I've always wondered, have any of the game companies ever threatened any lawsuits after you portrayed their characters in a negative light? And if so, how do you guys deal with it?
Man, a full-on lawsuit?
No, I mean, no one has ever done that. We've certainly gotten, early on we got angry emails. I think at this point in the comic, even like Rise of Immortals, we did a comic.
This was bizarre. Okay, this was bizarre.
We did a
Put on
comic
your
strip
bizarre
about
hat.
it. How bad it was, right? I think we all remember, if you read the comic, Carapace the Crabomancer.
Oh, and also Professor Necrodead, the dead necromancer professor.
That's level 1.
No, I'm here to tell you that we were as mean as we can possibly be.
Then I wrote a news post where I continued to shit all over their game. They came up to us at the con here and said, "Oh, we loved it. We put it up all over the office. Is it okay? Can we put the Crabomancer in the game?" Like,
it's like
we've created some kind of Stockholm syndrome amongst the industry.
It's like, don't you understand? I am shitting in your mouth.
And they just come up to the booth and it's like, "Hit me again, Ike." And I'm like, "What?"
We don't understand it.
I don't know.
No. I mean, the reality is that maybe there's a certain point beyond where it's like people are like, "Well, how bad could it be?" And then they go check it out.
Well, that's the reality. He said that their account creations went through the roof that day. So
thanks, guys.
my
Keep
guess
doing what
is
you're
not
doing.
many of those people stuck around, but.
What year are you guys on drawing the comic?
Sorry, what's that?
How long have you been drawing the comic?
Let's see. So November of '98.
So that's 13. I'm
13
curious,
years.
how do you continue to be creative after so long and not get burned out and just decide to move on to something else?
I don't know. It's you hear that long pause from Michael.
I don't know.
Long suffering.
I mean, I think the fact that we don't feel like we just have to make 3 Penny Arcade comics every week. You know, we want to do something like Automata or
Oh yeah, it's like if we feel like we don't want to make a comic about the 3DS, we will create a universe where people and sentient robots are learning to create a society. I'm not sure if it could be any more different than the other comic.
Yeah, I mean, we won't let ourselves get bored with it. Is the truth.
Yeah, when we want to make something else, we just do, and you have been incredibly supportive of that.
Yeah, maybe the first couple times we did that, if people were like, stopped reading the comic or said, "Hey, make funny jokes again," then we'd feel like, "Oh my God, we're chained to this 3 times a week, dick and fart jokes." But the fact is, when we do this other stuff, people like it, and that just helps us, stay fresh.
It's an incredible relationship, and
Yeah.
we are honored to have it.
More bogey golf.
I think you're in the minority, buddy.
So I've been watching a lot of you guys' Penny Arcade TV, stuff like that. But before that, I really enjoyed you guys' D&D panel, like playthroughs and stuff. Are
Oh,
you guys
yeah.
going to have more of those with Acquisitions Incorporated?
Yeah, at PAX we're doing a live show that'll be filmed and probably thrown up on YouTube, would be my guess.
Awesome.
Like a live stage show version of D&D with troubadours and other crazy shit. It's going to be live. And I mean that like in the hip-hop sense, and also we're going to be performing it live.
Hey, I just wanted to ask a question because I may never have this chance again.
This is a perfect place for it.
Yeah, exactly. So, what's your favorite pizza topping?
Pizza top. This is what you want to know. Listen,
Yeah,
I give the.
I had nothing. Like I said, I just wanted to ask a question because
I
may
give the
never have
people
this
what
chance
they
again.
want. I like a jalapeno on there. Put it on. Put it on the pizza.
I think you could put bacon on top of pretty much anything. I like bacon.
Hi, this question is for Mike primarily this time. One of the cool things over all of the years of Penny Arcade is kind of watching your drawing style evolve into different styles, and I'm wondering how important you feel it is now to have kind of a cohesive look or distinctive style that is your own going forward, or do you think you'll just kind of continue to change it up just as you see fit?
Well, I definitely think it'll keep changing just because, I don't feel like I'm as good as I want to be yet. And that's the motivating factor behind all of the different, the progression. The reason you can look at 1998 comics and then look at today's comics and see this huge difference is because most of the time I think the work I produce is shit. And so that keeps me going, oh, I got to get better, I got to get better. So yeah, it'll definitely change. I mean, in another 10 years, who knows what it'll look like.
Well, also, Scott being in the office has created this sort of bizarre...
Yeah, this sort of one-upsmanship with Scott being right there and both of us working so closely together. Like, he makes a joke about his hand comment, but it hurt. It stings. But the reality is that it made me start working on drawing better. So
I remember one of the pieces of advice you gave for artists is that you look at what you did 2 years ago and go, ugh.
Exactly.
And try to get as far away from it as you can. So
yeah,
that's
yeah.
kind of what motivates you moving forward from now?
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, I look at stuff that I did a couple weeks ago, and I'm frustrated. It's pretty rare that I'm completely 100% happy with anything when I'm done with it.
Oh, listen, and even if he's happy, then it changes fast.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I see.
He has problems, yeah.
So I had a D&D question.
Okay.
Related to both of you. What is your favorite trait to have in a player at your table when you guys are DMing?
In a trait in a player.
In a player, I like.
Go ahead.
I like to have.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
You son of a.
No, I'm sorry.
Well, I think.
I would say that. I think that sort of a willingness to play, and I don't just mean play D&D, but I mean to just not be embarrassed, right? To make funny voices and to let yourself be your character and see what happens. Just sort of that.
To be
willingness,
present.
Yeah, willingness to actually be there in the game and go where it takes you.
Yeah, I mean that's what you want in every player in every game. I can't improve on that.
And the worst is when you see the cell phones start to come out, and I just be there is what I want.
Hey, I was wondering what some of your own favorite comics are, and then beyond that, what are some things that the other person has written or drawn that you really like across from each other's work?
You want us to compliment each other?
Yes, essentially. You can do your best.
This is unprecedented.
I think that Mike really killed it this week on the Ann service arc. When you get home, you will see a series of comic strips, which are about young Anne and her overprotective uncle Tycho. And I think that he has found something very special in this relationship, and he's able to express it. It's really something.
Well, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, he writes so much good stuff, and all of it is so great.
It's like a flower turning to the sun.
I mean, how do you pick one thing from so many years worth of great material? He just kills it every time he steps up to the plate. Yeah, I'm a huge fan. Just in general.
You celebrate my entire catalog?
Yeah.
Does Harlan Ellison still hate you guys?
I doubt it. I'm sure that Harlan Ellison has more important things to think about.
More important things to hate, probably.
Probably, yeah.
Like every other person on the earth.
Yeah.
All right.
Scratcha.
All
right, let us have it.
This has been bothering me for a while now. I've read the whole comic, reread it, browsed the archives during work, instead of working.
Right.
What the hell happened to the watch?
No, the watch comes in. I mean, the watch has actually been in pretty recently, but we don't just make watch strips now. So, like, if you look, anytime there's violence in the strip, a lot of times, if you look closely, you'll see the watch. Just the idea that whenever violence takes place, the watch is trading,
Kind
owners.
of currency.
Yeah. I honestly don't know who had it last. I'd have to look back in the archive.
Yeah, typically we ask you guys. That's usually the way it works.
Cool.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, that's it.
Is that everybody's satisfied 100%?
All right, we feel
I guess
good?
we can just sit here and put your heads down for another 10 minutes or so.
Oh, okay. I guess not. That invigorated them.
All right, so this is actually more of a question for Robert, actually.
Oh.
So with Penny Arcade, we started off with the strip, and then we had like the podcast, and we have PA TV, and we have PA casual shirts, and PA the sort of the polo shirts.
PA fancy.
And you have the games, and you guys sort of helped fuel MC Front a lot. Like, what is next for the Penny Arcade brand? Like your own music album, or your music label?
I would love to know.
Yeah, just come up, Robert. It's fine.
What are you going to have us do next?
It'd be good to tell us now.
Yeah.
This is a classic position, actually.
What are we doing next?
I don't know what we should say.
What are you thinking about saying?
Well,
You heard it here first.
So
Whatever it is.
Fundamentally, the business really comes down to servicing the same.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's been a long couple of days.
So when you look at someone like MTV, you're looking at a company that services like a 13 to 17-year-old demographic. Like they've got those guys locked in. For us, it's generally 24 to 32-year-old hardcore gamers. And our idea is like, how do we stay true to those folks, whether that is this TV show or PAX the show or even Child's Play the charity or the scholarship. Like every piece of content we create we're just trying to stay true to that demographic. So the question is, how do we continue to serve you guys? I know that we are always looking to expand PAX. There was a big push. I know there's a big push recently on whether or not we were going to go to the UK for that, but we decided against it. But there's still a lot of other options, both domestically and internationally, for that. And
a third PAX show?
You're going to kill us.
It's possible.
2 is a lot of shows.
Is this a bit? Like you know what I've been doing. And I know you're going to see a lot more first-party stuff later this year. Like we're really blowing that out. I know that you look to be a dapper young man here, so I think you will enjoy it. And obviously, with the new kid and exploring Hollywood and movies and that medium, it's opening up a lot of doors for us. Does that answer your question?
It does. Thank you, Robert.
All right. Can I sit down?
Bunch of tall dudes coming up, so I figured I could raise it.
Slip in there.
Yeah. I'm part of the webcomics community, and I'm a creator, and I hear a lot getting thrown around that you have to identify or brand yourself as you keep quoting Robert, I guess. Brand yourself in a different way, and a quote I hear a lot around is, the world doesn't need another Penny Arcade. And I was wondering, do you see like thousands of like copies of your like not business model but like type of strip? And do you think that that's people wasting their time, or do you take that as like a compliment that people are trying to imitate you, as imitation is the highest form of flattery? Or I don't know if there was a question mark in there. So
No, I think his microphone is broken. He's actively trying to answer your question.
I think for a while.
That is awesome.
Funny game, audio guy. Good times. Go ahead and take it.
I think that people want. No, you got it. Yeah, you're ready.
Go. You might as well now.
Okay. I think that
I think
people.
that a lot of people for a long time were definitely copying Penny Arcade, but I don't see as much of that anymore. You know, maybe 4 or 5 years ago, it was, you know, 2 guys on a couch, I think was the term, right? And I think that lately, I haven't seen much of that at all. As far as whether or not, you know, it bothered us, no, not at all.
No, I mean we're not we can't possibly cover all of it. You know, and the things that are going on in that industry and in the community, I think deserve to be, you know, investigated and expressed. We don't have a lock on you know, human expression as it relates to this thing. I mean, it's a developing culture. What people want is to be spoken to in a genuine way. And if you can do that, I don't think it really matters what the topic is.
All right, thank you.
Yeah.
2 quick questions. 1, are either of you guys going to be involved in the next season of Whamma Masons? And 2, can I get a hug from either of you?
1, yes. We will be in the next series of Blamimations, probably as voices.
Yeah. Chris and I just started talking about the next track, the next song. So.
And 2, yeah, you look huggable.
Okay.
Come on up over here. Is that the kind of thing that hurts the brand? Is that what you're talking about?
I feel incredibly nervous. I'm sorry. You guys are like awesome. You've
Oh, we
changed
saw
my
you at the
life.
booth.
Yes, you remember me. Yay. I just wanted to know because like I've actually met quite a few stars, and you guys are the ones that I'm freaking out over the most. Like I'm literally shaking. But I want to know like what is your most memorable experience with a fan? Whether good, bad, awkward.
I have a good one.
Oh, fire away.
My most memorable experience with fans, actually, was a few years back, Las Vegas had their very first comic convention, and no one came to it. I mean, it was empty the entire day, and so we decided
We
that...
gave away more shirts than we sold.
Yeah, we decided that we needed to do something in the evening to sort of make up for it. And it just so happened that one of the, like, I think 5 people that came by the booth that day worked at a place called Quark's Bar in Las Vegas as a Klingon. And this place is no longer there, but they had actually recreated Quark's Bar in Las Vegas, and you could go there and be surrounded by Star Trek characters and drink.
And eat, you know, Star Trek themed food and drink
Yeah,
Star
yeah.
Trek themed drinks, a lot of drinks.
So we showed up at that place, and it turns out that the entire place was run by Penny Arcade fans, the whole bar, and drinks just started showing up.
They had a
Food.
drink. They had a drink called a Warp Core Breach.
Yeah.
That was a fishbowl full of dry ice and rum.
Oh my god.
With
like
like 10
14
straws.
fucking straws coming out of it. All of which were in Robert's mouth.
Yeah.
He looked like Cthulhu. I mean, there was shit coming out.
Just to tell you, like, how crazy it got, I have a fantastic picture of my wife grabbing a Klingon's ass and smiling at the camera at the end of the night. I mean, it was nuts.
It was easily one of the best nights of my life.
Yeah.
And when we came out of there, Robert generally doesn't drink at events like this, and he drank at this one. And when he came out, I said, "Robert, you represent our brand. You need to really calm down." And he's like, "It's no problem." And he stood up real straight and he said, "Hello, I'm Robert Coop from Pelican." He reached into his coat, but there was no coat. And he produced a business card that did not exist. Wait. So my best memory actually happened at PAX East, which is where, I mean, people often, sometimes they heap tribute upon our black altar. And I like that. I like tribute, and I deserve it. But this dude came up to the microphone, and he wanted the PAX audience, like at the panel. He was in a wheelchair, and he had just gotten his prosthetic. Like, it was the first time he had his prosthetic, and he wasn't comfortable using it yet, so he was still in his chair. And he wanted the room to bless his leg. He wanted the leg to absorb the warmth and the fellow feeling of that audience. And I think this is in the show. Anyway, I said, "Give me your fucking leg." And so he handed it up to me, and I just held it up, and I could feel it. I could feel the love going into this leg. I could actually feel it like humming with the bass from the, I don't know, that pretty much tops it for me. That and the rum was good. It's like rum, milk of human kindness, rum. Maybe it'd be a good cocktail.
Awesome, thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, Mike, I just had a question. Several years ago, there was a kind of run of watercolory dreamlike strips, and I think there was a couple of CTS strips in there, and one about the Game Boy walks into a bar.
That was a long time ago.
Yeah, I really liked the art on those, and I know it wasn't a good fit for the kind of Gabe and Tycho stuff, but I wondered if we might see that again in some other worldly stuff.
Well, I mean, a lot of that stuff, you know, the idea of texture and looseness is, I think that was just too big a jump too quickly. But a lot of those ideas have sort of seeped in over the years. I've definitely tried to get looser with my line work. The idea of a painterly texture being a part of the strip, those ideas have evolved into what I'm doing now.
All right, thanks.
Yeah.
Before we start, your costume is great.
Oh, I thank you. So I just have to ask, how often, if ever, do you two butt heads when choosing what to poke fun at or do creatively? Like, are you ever offended by the other, what they want to joke about?
It's almost impossible to offend us. No, I mean, he's never like...
You know, the reality is that, I mean, if the other person really says no, it's not something we discuss. Like, it's just part of our rules now. It's not worth arguing about it. If one of us really doesn't like it, that part of the conversation is over. And then we move on to the next thing. It took a long time to get to that. We had to learn that process.
The reality is that I think we kind of realized we have to make a comic, you know, on Monday, right? We have to make a strip.
That we can both be happy with.
And so it's not worth spending an hour arguing. If he says that it's not a funny idea, even though I know it is a lot of times.
And it would be great, and you'd all like it.
Yeah, I just, you know, okay, let's go on to some other stupid idea that you have. You know, I make that
and
switch.
Make that bullshit.
Thank you.
So the Penny Arcade TV show, in there, you guys get to interact with people like Bungie, and you know, you're playing ping pong with these people in the industry. What's a sort of creative team in the gaming industry that you've wanted to interact with, but you just never really got the chance to?
Man, I would actually love to do. I'd like to do something cool with Irrational.
Yeah.
At some time, like they are so crazy, you guys. Like they don't know how to not rock. They did not learn how to unrock. All they know is the rock.
I'd agree with that.
Look at that trailer they put out, the one from E3, where there's that fucking bird robot. Holy shit. It's a bird, but it's a robot.
Yeah, I want to be a part of that world.
Thanks.
Mike, earlier you mentioned being around for 13, 14 years, and it kind of reminded me that it's kind of crazy you guys have been around that long, and you've been
I had hair when we started this shit.
Holy shit.
All over, like head to toe.
So
it was problematic sometimes.
Awesome. And it's kind of crazy because you've been a part of my life and for that long, so it also reminded me of a time when I was trying to find pictures of you guys on the internet, And for a
What
long,
kind of pictures?
Just a face shot and maybe like a no, but
In repose.
yeah, something like goats. No, not really. But a lot of webcomics in that time, for some reason, maybe it was just me being retarded, but I could not find any pictures of the artists or even
Yeah.
the writers. So was it with you guys something like you wanted to be anonymous? You just wanted to have something being pumped
You got to
out?
understand that in 1998, the idea of uploading a picture to the web was insane.
True.
And, just to give you an idea, because I was working at Circuit City when we started making Penny Arcade. Like, I don't know. Yeah, it was a fantastic place. We sold a digital camera from Sony that you put a floppy disk into.
Wow.
Do you remember
Okay.
these? You put a whole floppy disk
The
into
Sony
it.
Mavica.
Wow.
So yeah, the reason that there aren't a lot of pictures is because it was the prehistoric age.
Understandable.
Yeah.
But also, again, me probably not remembering very well. I didn't know you guys' names until about 2000, 2001. Like, I don't remember you guys signing anything
Yeah,
or
I
putting your
mean,
name.
that's about the time we started putting like the copyright on the strip, I think.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. Cool, thank you.
Yeah. For a long time, we didn't know that people were interested in knowing us outside of the strip either, I think,
Yeah, we don't make the presumption that people find us interesting. You know what I mean?
Or we didn't.
Yeah, we like to put the JPEGs out there and let you savor them, and then a couple days later we put another one out. That's more or less Penny Arcade, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much.